So you really did kill your father?
Ghosts never die.
They asked me before to come back. They asked me in the last year and a half to come back.
I need you to do me a favor.
Do you a favor? For what?
Money and revenge.
Now we talk.
My man. We straight, 2-Bit. You keep your head up, man.
I know you killed my father. You won't say, but I know.
Whether I did it or not, it don't matter. But if you want to come and see me about it someday, I'll understand.
Yo, I heard from you in a minute. Come on, we family for life. Send me the details, and I'll be there. I'm on my way.
Welcome back, Top Notch Gang, to another video. We're here a few days after announcement of Power Legacy, a new spin-off continuing the same timeline as Tariq and Tommy, so it should be taking place after the events of Book 4, which we know based off the phone call at the end of Book Ghost. Tariq is set to make an appearance to help Tommy out in this war, but then it seems like they're gonna show their own, them two taking up the lead. And with the show being called Power Legacy, I think there's a good chance we get to see returning characters that help build the legacy of the original Power. And with this being Power, of course, so many characters have been killed and taken out, everything like that, but there are a few that always are a topic of discussion that I think will be a good idea to have return in some way, shape, or form, to be in addition to people who's going to be around Tariq, like a Effie or Braden, and people who's going to be around Tommy, more than likely D-Mac and his mom. I think returning these characters, 2-Bit, Elisa Marie, and we're also going to talk about Ghost, because I know it's going to be a topic of the discussion. We're going to talk about him as well. It's a good chance that we can see these characters come back in Power Legacy. So without further ado, you guys can leave a like, comment, subscribe, let me know your thoughts and opinions on this new spin-off. Who do you want to see return, all the storylines, characters, everything like that. But let's go ahead, get right into it. Now, first up is 2-Bit. We have been asking for the writers to bring this nigga back for so long now, to bring him over to 4, so have him involved with Tariq and shit like that. They have him do these one-off scenes but do nothing with his character. And we're starting off with him because he kind of is the least like impactful to the story that's going to be in place. Like when we get to Elisa Marie, we could go on with her and we could go on with Ghost, but we need more characters like 2-Bit that's just loyal soldiers. I'm tired of the Gerards and the Canes and everybody just trying to undermine one another to take the top spot. The best part about 2-Bit is he's a loyal soldier. He's like Juliana, I believe. He's always been down for everything. He's a man of his word. He's true to the streets. He just always keeps it a stack, and that's why his relationship with Tommy has always been good, and they ended off on good terms, which is why everyone wanted him to return in the first place. We've seen him have multiple interactions with Tariq. I know he was trying to punk him and everything like that. He ended up helping him get rid of a body. We know he also ended up taking Tariq's car to give him the information of where Tasha was at, and that ended up, of course, helping Tariq stop Tommy from killing Tasha. So he in a way helped with that. We know, of course, Tariq and stole his car back and sold it, and we just never seen 2-Bit again. I think having Tommy back in the story with Tariq, they could squash it. Fucking 2-Bit could stop extorting this man, and they could actually have him be utilized the right way. Once again, working with Tommy, I think it makes the most sense. He's one of the few characters we've been asking for, and like I say, it's not too many characters from the original Power that they can realistically bring back and it makes any level of sense. 2-Bit, he's made a few appearances here and there, and I think he could be a staple in this new organization movement or whatever they got going on going forward, especially with Kane on the run at the end of Book Ghost. We don't know who's leaving Chicago with Tommy once this season of Book 4 is over. We're gonna need the muscle muscle of the group, and that's a role that I think 2-Bit will be able to fulfill easily. So please bring him back. We're tired of asking for it. We've been talking about it for so long, and once again, it makes all the sense in the world. The show is called Power Legacy. He's one of the few characters left. Bring 2-Bit back. I know a lot of people talk about how he used to date the writer or the owner or whoever created Power. He used to date her, they broke up, and that's why she kind of blackballed him, whatever. From what it seems like, the last few seasons of Ghost, definitely Raising Kanan and Force and everything, she hasn't been having a hand in. So I think they're able to still bring him back and those things not be a problem. We will have to wait and see, but this is a layup of a character for them to bring back. Next up, we have Elisa Marie Proctor, and this is honestly perfect. I talked about her making an appearance in Force, but now with Tariq and Tommy being in the same show once again, she is easily a character they could reintroduce, because as we all know, Tommy killed Proctor, her dad, but it was Tariq he called who decided to let Tommy in. He took Elisa Marie out for ice cream, and of course we know Tommy got the kill. We know through all this, she gave Tommy the evidence she had against him, everything like that. He said that one day she might come looking for him and he'll completely understand. We also know that her aunt told her that Tariq isn't her real friend. She saw that he was being fake, that something was going on, whatever. But we know she has a big connection to the Italian mob. The most interesting part about Elisa Marie when it comes to her father is that, of course, Elisa Marie didn't know much about the things her dad was into within the game, how he had to get his hands dirty from time to time. And it wasn't until she overheard a conversation between Proctor and Benny about how he let her mom die, how he told her he was getting married. He made her think she failed the bar exam, couldn't be a lawyer again, and unfortunately caused her to overdose, did not call the police or anything like that. So that's the conversation she overheard. He started to understand the world and life her dad was living in. Now, of course, he tried to take her to Ghost's penthouse, try to hide out when he was testifying against Tommy. Tariq helped out with that, as I just mentioned prior, and she looked at Tariq as a friend. So I don't really know if she's an ally or she could be a potential enemy in the future, of course, with her connections to the Italian mafia. Now, the Italian mafia could always come back into play, and also, like I said, it could come back into play with Tommy and Buck Force. This could be a key way to connect Tommy, Elisa Marie, and Tariq all back under one umbrella with the Italian mafia, as I just mentioned. But if not, she is older now. She probably has a better understanding of everything that's going on around her, and I think she could be utilized like Junior Valdez. As we just seen in season 3, Junior Valdez popped back up out of nowhere. He wasn't really a relevant character throughout the first 6 seasons of the original Power, and now he popped back up. He's in the FBI and shit like that, and I think Elisa Marie could be used in the same way. Depending on how much time has passed in the Power world, she should be barely older. I think her actor in real life is like 17, 18 years old. So I see why it's hard to work her into the story unless they fast forward and say a few years past in the Power timeline. But once again, I think she could be implemented like Junior Valdez and have a more key role, more control over what's going on over the board in the chess game and make moves of her own. As far as we know, her connections to the Italian mafia could be the biggest threat to both Tariq and Tommy. And finally, that brings us to Ghost. I mentioned in my last video, this is always going to be a topic of conversation. I'm probably just going to put the clip of everything I said from that part to here, but what I am gonna say is I don't believe Ghost is alive, but if they're ever gonna bring him back, if they're gonna continue to do storylines in this timeline, people are always gonna question if he could return. If they're ever gonna do it, once again, I don't believe he is alive, but if they're ever gonna do it, it makes sense to do it in Power Legacy with Tariq and Tommy. But like I say, I'm about to play the clip of everything I said in my last video about his possible return, how they would do it, everything like that. The possibility of Ghost returning is always going to be a question, an idea, a theme that people are going to debate for the end of time, no matter what, because he was such a beloved character. I understand it. So a lot of people are going to be talking about if it's a possibility he could return, and there's so many clips of Omari Hardwick even saying himself that they asked him to come back.
They asked me before to come back. They asked me in the last year and a half to come back.
If I didn't die, it means I'm still working, right? and my damn checks don't got power on it no more.
Now, we don't know if this would mean he's alive or it's in a flashback or it's dream sequence. We seen Tariq have a lot of those where he's surrounded by characters he killed. We seen him have of his future when he had a kid with Diana. We also seen him in Ghost's Club. So we could get a scene of Omari Hardwick as Ghost in a lot of different shapes or form. But a lot of people are going to be expecting him more so to be alive, which is understandable. Like I said, he has so many clips and scenes talking about his possible return and them asking him about it. And I don't think with the amount of money they would have to pay him that it would be a one-time thing. They would want to have to get their money's worth. But who knows at this point? I think, once again, it's going to be a large topic of conversation. I don't know how they will work it into the story, especially with Tasha and Yaz officially leaving and out the picture. It's so much that just, I don't know, it wouldn't make sense. Obviously Tariq lost his trust fund. It would be crazy to see, I'm not gonna deny that, but I just don't think it fits currently to what's going on. I think actually a lot of people expected him to make some type of return or appearance in the last season of Book Ghost, because that season, that was the most we ever seen characters speak about him. Obviously Detective Carter knew who he was.
Tariq St. Patrick, son of James St. Patrick, one of New York City's biggest pieces of shit. And you smell just like him.
I don't know what you have in your mind about my father, but whatever that is, that has nothing to do with me.
Zion mentioned him to Tariq, as well as mentioning Tommy to Braden.
My men know better than to pull up lacking like you just did. Thought you would too, given who your father was.
Respectfully, you don't know who my father was.
I knew you knew how to solve a problem before it became a problem. I find it funny you went and got a white boy just like Ghost did. Tell me something. You as crazy as Tommy.
We even had Tariq admitting that he was just like Ghost. He has a piece of him in him and everything like that.
I realized to get what the fuck I want, I gotta use all of them. The good parts of him, the bad parts of him. You know, my dad did a lot of dumb shit that I never agreed with, but I got a lot of him in me.
And obviously before we got the Tariq dream sequence, seeing him wearing the same suit and color as Ghost, a lot of people thought, hey, he possibly could be showing up here. And when it didn't happen, everybody kind of put it to rest that, hey, he is dead. But all this is about to get stirred right back up. I think what they should do with Omari Hardwick is bring him back for Origins, and he narrates over it, obviously how 50 Cent does for Kane and for Raising Kane. I think Omari Hardwick, him doing that, talking about his dad, his backstory, relationship with Breeze, Kane and Tommy growing up, I think that's a role he could easily fit and do, and it would just be a nice presence to hear his voice once again. But you guys can let me know down below if you think he will return, in what capacity, dream, alive, whatever. You can let me know your thoughts and opinions. I just think that this makes more sense of the route they'll go. I feel like as long as they continue stories in the timeline, in the present timeline, I guess you could say, with Tariq, Tommy, there's always gonna be people you want them to bring back, and Ghost is at the top of that list, obviously. So like I said, it's just gonna continue to be a conversation until Power officially is dead. But like they keep saying, Power never ends, so this will forever be a conversation, unfortunately. Overall though, that's it for this video. You give me your thoughts and opinions on the new announcement of Power Legacy, Joseph Sikora and Michael Rainey continuing their roles as Tommy and Tariq. How you see it playing out, the characters you believe will be included. I think obviously the Effie, the Braden, and Diana and Davis are 4 guaranteed on Tariq's side of things. And for Tommy, I know for sure his mom and D-Mac. I don't know about JP. I have him as a dead prediction for the final season of Force. But with that, I think we can bring back some legacy characters, possibly even a Lauren. We know she left at the end. I could have talked about her in this video, but she left, of course, in Ghost. We also could bring back 2-Bit, Elisa Marie, and you guys are constantly going to debate Ghost. I think it's a lot they could do with this series, so we're just gonna have to wait and see till we get more details. As usual though, you guys can leave a like, comment, subscribe, let me know what else you want to see, but I'm out.